The college football experience, Georgia Bulldogs 2023 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Networks, brought to you by Bird Dog Shorts. Dominate the summer with an amazing pair of shorts and a free Yeti style tumbler when you order over at birddogs.com/pool. Once again, that is birddogs.com/pool.
Hey, what's up, you degenerate gamblers? This is Bill Burr, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience, Georgia Bulldogs 2023 season preview episode. We got a lot to talk about here. Domination might be the top topic because that's what the Bulldogs have done. The Georgia Bulldogs have done.
29-1 over the last two seasons.
29-1 over the past two seasons. We're going to talk all about it. We're going to jump in and talk a little Georgia Bulldog football. But you might be wondering just who the hell you're listening to. Well, my name is Colby Swigga Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I smoke and I drink and I don't have stress and I'm healthy.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terrorist pussy. And I'm after you, buddy. You're gonna pay for it. Good night.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just getting excited talking Georgia Bulldogs football. I got another song here. Let's talk about the Georgia Bulldogs. Hey, they might let everyone drive fast as shit down there, but god damn it, they're winning championships. Yep. All right.
And what does Bud Kilmer say from Varsity Blues? My boy's too much trouble for you to handle.
Hey,
that's what Kirby Smart is saying.
Kirby Smart is that coach from Varsity Blues.
That's right.
All right. And what does Billy Kilmer say about that? He says, UCLA's going to the Big Ten. What the fuck? All right. I don't know. Folks, we appreciate you tuning in to the college football experience, Georgia Bulldogs 2023 preview. I am accompanied by my co-host. Give it up for former JMU Duke defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi-oh.
Let's get it going, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. I mean, we're talking about a team that's on what, a 17-game win streak here?
No, and look, Saban's threatened. I think it's a fact. Look.
I mean, shoot. They got the better of Saban. Now, they didn't need to last year. That might have been a gift, but they're not on the schedule this year, and they might not have to face them in the SEC championship.
Did you know Penn State's played Alabama the same amount of time since 1980 as Georgia?
That cannot be true.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. That is a pathetic stat for the SEC. Screw you, SEC.
But you don't play them. You don't play them this year. That's a great stat if you're Kirby Smart, even though I still think they would beat the tar out of the Tide this year, last year, 2 years ago.
I don't know if I believe that for even an instant.
Please.
No.
Texas A&M, what, I have 4 or 5 wins coming in Tuscaloosa, pushing around Bryce Young and those guys to the final play of the game.
Alabama.
Did you see what Georgia did to Tennessee? Tennessee beat Alabama.
Okay. Did you see what Alabama? I don't know if they even played Missouri, but I don't think they did.
Did you see what TCU did to Texas this year? Did you see what Georgia did to TCU?
They beat that.
It was a little bit different, buddy.
Oh, sure. I mean, look, Alabama wasn't as great last year, but 2 years ago, Alabama did beat Georgia in one of the 2 times they played, and the only time that they had all their receiving core healthy. A lot of people might say that first national championship wouldn't have been won by Georgia. And what did Alabama do?
We're doing the Georgia podcast right now, and you're slinging this type of shit right now.
I'm not gonna. This isn't a puff piece. We're giving them a fucking honest appraisal of their program. Yeah, you're great. You're on top of the world, but if you're sleeping on Alabama right now, you are fucking stupid.
Really,
as plain as it gets.
Where's the pillow? I'll take it.
What is a pillow? Spell that word for me.
Where's the pillow?
There you go. Thank you. Look, 2 years ago, Alabama had one of the greatest or 3 years ago, I guess.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you're talking a while back.
They won the national championship by 30 points, and no one
back in there, Jay Barker. All right.
And meanwhile, Georgia's needing the last play of the game to beat Cincinnati, a fucking group of
that was like 4 years ago.
3 years ago, right?
Oh, come on.
All I'm saying is this. Look, you think Alabama's getting away from that soft shit. They're about to start playing hard-nosed football because they brought in a run-first coach in Tommy Rees, and it's going to be a slugfest once again. And look,
they're not going to play each other this year.
And the most they will in the SEC championship.
No,
game,
they will not.
Most likely.
No, they will not. LSU is the odds-on favorite, buddy.
The game's in Alabama this year. Alabama's going to get their revenge on LSU.
Well, I'm just saying it's not most likely if the odds-on favorite is LSU.
Well, Vegas might be stupid here, but yes, according to Vegas, not most likely.
You just keep slinging this stuff. These Bulldog fans, they don't even care right now. They're saying, "Who's the idiot?"
Listen to this, Bulldog fans. In the most recent talent,
Stetson Bennett still hasn't graduated. He might even lace up.
That's true. Stetson Bennett has a lifelong path to play quarterback for Georgia. Alabama was still number one in the composite talent rankings as of last year.
Blah, blah, blah.
The fact that they didn't play, right? You know, I'm just saying.
Oh, gosh.
Look, you want to crown him, Kobe.
Let's talk about Kirby Smart. How do you feel about Kirby Smart? Think he's a good football coach?
Yeah. He's decent. I think he is now challenging to take. I mean, maybe that's why Saban made that face when David Pollack, rest in peace, ESPN career. Great reporter. You want to come to SGPN? We got a spot for you.
David Pollack hit us up. Great guy. And
but Saban really frowned and seemed really pissed off that Pollack pointed that out, and it must have struck a nerve. And I also think that maybe he's worried about Kirby Smart kind of shaking up his legacy.
True.
You know.
So look, we're gonna talk transfer portal, offense, defense, all that good stuff. But first I got to get us paid here. I want to tell you that the Georgia Bulldogs 2023 season preview is brought to you by Bird Dogs. Bird Dogs make you look good. All right. What does Deion say? If they pay good, they play good, they look good, something like that.
You look good, you play good, you play good, they pay good.
There you go.
That's a tongue twister.
That's what's going to happen. You throw on some Bird Dogs. Bird Dogs are stretch khaki shorts, and they're designed to fit slimmer through the thigh and leg, giving you a truly sculpted look, Patty C. Look, they fit way better than regular shorts. Regular shorts have made of stiff, restricting cotton. Alabama's probably still wearing regular shorts because that's probably why Georgia surpassed them. Look, Bird Dogs fixed this issue by inventing cloud knit.
Just all rocking
cloud knit fabric, man. They've been on the Bird Dog plan. It looks just like khakis, but stretches so you get a way slimmer fit without having to sacrifice all that movement. Bird Dogs also uses anti-stink sweat wicking fabric that keeps you cool and dry all day long and smelling all right. And come on. You're going to be between the hedges at Sanford Stadium.
Yeah.
Doing a few Jaeger bombs.
It's going to get sticky.
Yeah. You're going to want to make sure you don't smell like Larry Zonka. You know what I mean?
Seen some of those co-eds down there. You want to stay fresh.
So, look, folks, go to birddogs.com/pool and enter the promo code POOL for a free Yeti style tumbler. Patty C, when's the last time you got a Yeti style tumbler?
Been a while.
They're going to give you this for free. I repeat, they're going to give you this for free. That's birddogs.com/pool for a free Yeti style tumbler. You won't want to take your Bird Dogs off. We could promise you that. All right. We are back on the college football experience. Georgia Bulldogs 2023 season preview episode. What's up, buddy?
Let me ask you this. Is Georgia a blue blood?
I mean, for this current era of college football, sure.
An all-time blue blood. And let me tell you what, I'm going to throw a stat at you, and I think they are right on the edge, right? in terms of power programs, non Ivy League at FBS level, they are 9th all time in win total, right? But there is a big gap. 868 total wins. 8th place would be Nebraska at 912. They are ahead of USC who has one less win, but USC vacated a lot of wins. You know,
oh, that shit is all stupid.
It's all bullshit. But Georgia, I think
they bought Reggie Bush a house. You're telling me these guys in the SEC didn't buy everyone a house?
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah, come on.
I'm no USC guy either. I'm not I don't like USC. So
yeah.
We're just calling a spade a spade.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think though that in your mind Georgia is a blue blood?
I do
all time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do.
I don't, but I think they're about to get there.
He's just trying to piss off.
I know. I'm just saying. Like they had one national championship back in
Tarkenton,
1980. I don't know. They probably had one before that, but that's the only one that I remember.
Herschel Walker. I just think like when I think college football,
they had great
when
players.
I think college football, for me, like blue bloods are like what are the name brands? Georgia's
a name
one
brand.
of them.
Yeah. I think there's a distinction between blue blood and name brand.
Name
brand, without a doubt, Georgia. Blue blood, I think they got a little more work to do to get on that level.
Folks, feel free. He's at Patty C on Twitter.
Look,
DM him,
Michigan,
tag him, call him a fucking idiot.
Ohio State, Alabama, Notre Dame, Texas, Oklahoma.
Wait, Notre Dame's a blue blood?
Yeah, Notre Dame.
They haven't been relevant in 30 years.
I'm talking about all time, buddy. College football is how old, Colby?
It's like 160 years old.
Well, there you go. We're not talking about the last 30
years. A lot of people
years.
don't know that. They always say baseball is America's favorite pastime. Well, the MLB is not as old as college football.
Oh.
Let's talk about what's been departing from the transfer portal because Patty C, I don't think any of it matters, but let's hop in there because Marcus Washington, cornerback from Georgia. I know him as a safety from Colorado in the 90s, but he and a linebacker for the Colts, but cornerback here. He's a Louisville Cardinal. He says, bye-bye. Let me get some of I'm buying into what Brahm's selling.
Getting buried on the depth chart. Anyone who's leaving Georgia.
Yeah.
Save for Jermaine Burton.
No, there's one or two here. There's one or two. But yeah, Griffin Scroggs on the offensive line heads to Appalachian State. Love App State.
Yeah.
Go dominate. This is the one, buddy. Bear Alexander on the defensive line. This guy was a beast last season. Now the good news is that it's Georgia and they have like 7 million great defensive linemen. But he was a beast and he showed a lot of potential. He went to USC. So great get for the Trojans.
Yeah.
Linebacker Ryan Davis goes to UCF. Then you have Sean Washington on the defensive line going to East Mississippi Community College. And then what is it? Adonis Mitchell, a wide receiver. This guy played for them, substantial. He goes to Texas.
Well, some big programs are plucking some players.
Then linebacker
gotta hurt a little.
Linebacker Tresman Marshall. Tresman Marshall goes to Alabama. I have a sound for that.
Fire them shots.
What's going on? Why would this is like the who's the wide receiver? Jermaine Burton. What's going on here?
Yeah.
All right, look.
Just poor immoral.
You're winning national champion. I don't understand. You got a better chance to go start there by a hair. MJ Sherman, a defensive end, goes to the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Patty C. Cornerback Jaheim Singletary goes to the Arkansas Razorbacks. Offensive tackle Jacob Hood goes to the Nebraska Cornhuskers as well. Tight end Rylan Good goes to Mississippi State. I believe he's penciled in as the day one starter there. Wide receiver Dominic Blaylock goes to Georgia Tech.
I'm surprised.
He's going to the fucking rival.
Yeah.
Right.
Come on.
Well, get this. Tight end Brett Seether. He's going to Georgia Tech.
Wait, what were both those players?
Two guys going to Georgia Tech.
What was the first guy's position?
Wide receiver.
And tight end.
Should we maybe we should be high on Georgia Tech?
Yeah, maybe.
Tight end Eric Gilbert, who's been at this guy's hilarious to me. Do you remember this guy? 5-star.
Oh yeah.
Highest rated recruit like tight end ever. He goes to
He's been at 55
LSU,
schools.
right?
Yeah.
Florida, Georgia, and now Nebraska, and I think he's only a sophomore. He can break records.
Yeah.
Nebraska with 3 guys here. Watch out for the Cornhuskers. Also, Bill Norton, on the defensive line goes to the Arizona Wildcats. Patty C. That's a lot to lose, but I think you might be able to argue that they perhaps
Improved
because running back Lenneth Whitehead comes in from Tennessee. What's happening in the world right now?
Tennessee, by the way, one loss lower than Georgia all time themselves. Those are two comparable programs. Is Tennessee a blue blood?
No.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Buddy, what the fuck? How are all these guys going to their rivals?
Yeah, come on. Make me sick.
Does anything matter anymore in life? We're gonna be watching Batman movies as the Joker. What the fuck is happening here?
Right.
Wide receiver Dominic Lovett, who was the top receiver for Missouri a season ago. He goes to Georgia.
I guess that's in division.
It's terrible. I know it's not a long rivalry.
That was one of the closest games on Georgia's entire schedule last year.
Perhaps Mississippi State's best wide receiver, Rara Thomas. He goes to Georgia. I won't even sound the gun for that one. Cornerback Smoke Bowie from Texas A&M. Guess where he goes? He goes to Georgia. And I believe that is it.
A lot of interconference transferring, or interconference transferring. But I guess when your conference is 55 teams, that is bound to happen a little bit.
Just don't transfer to Georgia Tech and anyone on the East. Like Tennessee is a real rival. Maybe I sounded the gun off on Lovett. He's at Missouri. Who cares? But come on, Tennessee.
In division, you sound the gun.
Tennessee, Alabama, and in division, you sound the gun. Okay, fair.
Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, Georgia Tech, probably South Carolina.
Yeah, but that didn't happen. But you think they won the portal?
Again, I would say I haven't studied in depth a lot of these players, so I couldn't tell you whether, they're
I'm guessing they won the portal.
I mean, it sounds like you losing a highly, effective and I guess performing defensive lineman to USC.
But they didn't have wideouts, and they got all these really good wideouts. The top wideout from Mississippi State, the top wideout from Missouri. They added cornerback depth and I think this guy's going to probably start.
Well,
or I don't know if he'll start, but he'll be right there. Yeah.
Losing Keely Ringo is big. He was one of the leaders on the team, obviously. And then, I think wide receiver has been a weak point for them. So I guess I agree with you. I think they plugged the positions and the spots that they lost players in, they have depth. They have depth all over the field.
Yeah.
Receiver, for whatever reason, hasn't been like, I want to say like Glad McConkey, who's a good receiver, but certainly not what you would think of as an explosive guy. Maybe they need some of that as well. Some explosion on the edge.
Well, they have a brand new offensive coordinator, Patty C.
Kind of new.
Todd Monken is with John Harbaugh. I wonder if they end up playing Michigan like everyone's projecting, if he'll call brother and say, "Hey, can you tell Todd?
I need some secrets here." Oh man, would Todd sell out Kirby Smart like that?
Maybe. No, he wouldn't do that. There's a brotherhood. There's a code, although it seems to be broken by every player on these transfers. But Patty C, the offense a season ago, obviously Stetson Bennett, 35 years old. He did a good job though, and the offense was 5th in the nation scoring offense, 19th in rush offense, 15th in pass offense, total offense at 5th. The big storyline I would say coming into this year has been the unknown, who's going to start at quarterback, but it seems from reports that it's going to be Carson Beck. Now they have Brock Vandagriff. They also have Gunner Stockton. They have 3 capable quarterbacks. Patty C,
Stetson, Carson, Brock, and
Gunner.
And Gunner. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Every single one of their parents raised them to be
whatever
a
happened to Roger, like Roger Staubach or something. Right. You know what I mean? Fran Tarkenton.
Yeah. Give me a Bob. Give me a Bob Greasy.
Ed needs to come back.
Yeah.
Buddy, but I'm curious. See, I know these quarterbacks are more talented from a recruiting standpoint than Stetson Bennett ever was, but there was something about Stetson Bennett is he was a gamer. The question is, remember they had JT Daniels. I know he played. I don't even think JT Daniels ever lost a game as a starter at Georgia, but they haven't won championships with higher recruiting. You know, they had what's my guy? Not Jacob Eason. Who's the quarterback that cost Fields to transfer out? Jake Fromm.
Yeah.
They had Jake Eason too. They had everybody. All right. Mike Bobo played quarterback there. But Patty C, do we have any concern because of that? Because Stetson Bennett, say what you want about him. I had to eat shit on this because I thought he was questionable at times, but man, he was kind of a big difference maker. Yeah,
he was awesome. 68% completion percentage, 27 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. You know, for having 10 rushing touchdowns, surprisingly few rushing yards, 205. But I do wonder if again that's affected by sacks, presumably. But Carson Beck,
did he even get sacked last year? I don't know that he did.
That's true. I would love to see that stat. I don't know where I can find that stat.
You know what's great about this though? We'll get to it in a minute, but the schedule, they're going to be able to play all three and like they have a long runway. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
They were going to play Oklahoma, but Sankey canceled that series because Oklahoma's joining. Wasn't Georgia though. Wasn't like Michigan canceling UCLA. Kendall Milton's back at running back.
The commissioner stepped in to intervene and give them another win. That's why Sankey's a genius.
Yeah.
Like, we can't blame. They're not in our conference this year. Oh, but don't worry. We still have to cancel that so that you get back to the national championship.
Kendall Milton, running back. Obviously Dylan Edwards still there too. The tight end play between Brock Bowers. How the hell did he get out of California all the way over to Georgia? He is a stud. Same with Oscar Delp. I mean, those tight ends are the best tight ends in America. The wideouts, they have Arian Smith, obviously the Rara Thomas, the Dominic Lovett. They have just Lad McConkey. I mean, they got I feel like they really got better at wide receiver this year as opposed to last season. Patty C, they also bring back 3 starters on the offensive line, I believe. And I'm sure the newcomers in left tackle, what is it? Ernest Green is going to be a stud. He's a redshirt freshman.
Yeah.
Same with Mims at the right tackle. I mean,
you're recruiting at that level, it's just next man up, and they've become elite almost, you know, all the time. With Alabama, I feel like that's the case.
So let's talk about this offense. They lose the OC, but Bobo was there with Monken a little bit, so I think he can kind of just pick up where he left off. And I actually thought Bobo was a decent coach at Colorado State. I know he struggled as the OC in South Carolina and Auburn, but I think the offense will probably be on maybe the slightest hit, because like even though they're better at wideout, they are replacing both tackles and the inexperience at quarterback. Maybe the slightest hit.
A transition of system a little bit. Bobo's not going to be running the exact same thing.
Well, I mean, I'm saying he was part of the staff last year, so maybe.
Okay, yeah. Then that's true. There's probably not as much of a fall off. Apparently, he was the offensive coordinator back in 2014. The last time they scored more points per game than this past year. So
wow,
yeah, I don't think they're too worried about him.
What do you think with the quarterback play? Maybe a slight dip.
Yeah, I mean, but if you told us that at the beginning of 2 years ago, and Stetson Bennett was a complete unknown and not exactly, you know, razor sharp, then we would laugh at you, you know, because he was looking like the worst quarterback that for whatever reason, Georgia has had some very good quarterbacks, but they haven't typically been super elite. Now, obviously Justin Fields leaving changed that, but Aaron Murray was good, not great at the NFL level.
Jake Fromm made the NFL.
Fromm was good. Yeah, you know, Matthew Stafford was great. You know,
Eric Zaire,
not exactly a Pro Bowler there.
David Green, come on,
decent.
Quincy Carter, he made the league.
Yeah, but none of these guys are like, you know, Pro Bowl quarterbacks in the NFL. So, you know, for whatever reason, they're not producing those. And Alabama didn't do that for a long time either during their.
Well, Stetson Bennett, who was a 0-star recruit, beat Bryce Young the last time they played.
True.
It's all hogwash, right?
Sure. Are you going to take Stetson Bennett over Bryce Young though? To
maybe I hear he's impressive. I mean,
he's gotten better.
I hear he's impressing on the Rams. Look, defensively, they got Will Muschamp, who's always a maniac and hilarious. Great GIF out there on Twitter of Muschamp being a maniac,
blowing a gasket.
Yeah. Glenn Schumann, they got co-defensive coordinators. You know that's Kirby Smart's forte is the defense side of the ball. 5th in score defense, 1st in rush defense. Circle that one. 53rd in pass defense, 9th in total defense. But once again, they were the best defense. I don't give a shit what anyone. They're on numbers. That's diluting it right there. That shows the system's not working. All right. Patty C, the defensive side of the ball though, it's gonna be fantastic once again because you got Stackhouse back at the nose tackle spot. And Michael Williams back at the DN. Now I touched on they lost Bear, but who cares? They got other guys that are really good, and the linebacking core. So they're breaking in one new defensive starter on the D line. Linebacking core bringing back what 2 of.
How do you say Smale Mondon Jr. The league the team's leading tackler was 76 last year.
Smale.
I don't
so
know.
you gotta hold that eye silent.
Yeah, silent eye.
The secondary has Kamari Lassiter, Javon Bullard back, and Starks at the free safety spot. Patty C, this defense. I know I could rattle off that they're starting like what 4 new people on the defense side of the ball. I'm not worried.
Yeah,
I'm not worried. They are breaking in a new kicker, which maybe if it's a close game. Maybe you get a little bit concerned that they're breaking in a new kicker, but punter Brett Thorson is back. Patty C, I mean, is the defense going to be top 10? Yes.
You would have to figure. Were they? They were the number 1 scoring defense 2 years ago. 3 years ago, the number 17 scoring defense, but last year, number 8. Yeah, you got to figure top 10 is probably where they're going to land.
Yeah. So
especially if do we think? Losing Christopher Nolan, losing Keely Ringo, but that seems like a pretty small, like you said, the rebuild. Most of what they lost 2 years ago were defenders, so they kind of restocked the cupboard last year and then only lost 2 to the league. They're probably pretty stacked this year.
Yeah, and they're gonna be loaded. They're gonna be loaded. We're gonna go game by game on the schedule and break down what we think the Bulldogs will do in 2023. But before we do that, I want to tell you fine people out there that the college football experience Georgia Bulldogs 2023 season preview episode is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Best Ball Mania is here, and Underdog Fantasy is giving away $15 million in prizes. Yes, Underdog Pick'em is also a great way to get down on your favorite MLB and NFL season player props, and they do have college football. Once college football season comes around, you'll hear me talking about it. So subscribe to the College Football Experience. But yes. Head over to underdogfantasy.com. Use that promo code SGPN for 100% deposit bonus. They are available in so many states, and there's so many ways to win. Once again, that's underdogfantasy.com. Promo code SGPN. All right, we are back on the College Football Experience. Georgia Bulldogs 2023 season preview. And Patty C, what if I told you that the Bulldogs, first off, shout out to Cam Kerr, and hopefully if you're listening to this, you subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience, as we break down all 133 college football teams with the solo podcast for each and every team, like we do each and every year. But also check out the FCS College Football Experience podcasts that we host. Same with the College Baseball Experience and the College Basketball Experience. We come together as one on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience. But like I said, check out all of those solo podcasts. Cam Kerr does great artwork. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see the win total, Patty C, sitting at 11.5. Basically Vegas saying they're going to go 12-0 or they're going to go 11-1. We have to decide. The bettor has to decide. And I can tell you this, Patty C. 1, 2, 3, 4. They play 4 teams with a winning record from a year ago. And one of them is on the road. So
greatest cakewalk for a 2-time defending national champion.
This is I mean, we'll get into it because this schedule, I would argue, is very, very easy.
I mean, can we talk about last year real quick?
Sure.
The teams that I guess gave them
Missouri
most trouble, Missouri
and Ohio State. Actually, Ohio State probably should have won that game.
Ohio State, yeah. That's why I was trying to look for the for the consistency there. Missouri, the number 91 pass offense. So it's like, okay, you can't really bang with them. Michigan found that out.
They were just asleep a little bit.
You think they were asleep for Ohio State?
No, the Missouri game.
Missouri, yeah, I think they were asleep for that. No, Ohio State, I think Stroud was throwing the ball all over the field. I mean, when you have a precision quarterback and a great wide receiving core, it's hard to keep up with that. You don't need to bang, but then they have great offensive linemen and Travion Henderson to tote the rock. But I think if anyone's going to beat them, particularly like maybe Alabama can just line up and bang with them, especially because neither of them have a proven quarterback. But like a Michigan, I think is going to need to be able to do the Ohio State thing and pass all over them if they're going to get it done. I don't know if McCarthy's the guy. I think Ohio State is probably the biggest.
USC then.
USC could do it. USC could do it. They would be a threat to them.
I still don't know if they have the guys though. I mean,
the
as much as
defense is
Caleb
soft as
Williams,
crap.
they can't tackle. But I don't know. We'll see. Anything else you want to note on last year?
Maybe LSU.
That's the one.
Yeah,
that's
because they can throw the ball.
Yeah. Week 1, Patty C. The Skyhawks. Hold on. Where? Patty C.
And Tennessee.
Sure, but
they don't play
we need to see
either.
Milton. Yeah. Actually, they're kind of like USC.
Yeah.
Anyway, Patty C. What was I going to talk about? Week 1. Week 1. The Skyhawks come to town.
I want this pilot. It's a matter of national security.
This game's terrible.
Yeah. What was UT Martin's record?
I mean, they were actually decent. I think they were like maybe 7 wins.
7-4.
Yeah. But I mean, come on. This is
7-4. Lost to Tennessee 65-24. I don't think
it's just a stupid game. Here's what's hilarious is I heard Kentucky's athletic director say that the reason they won 8 games instead of 9 conference games is safety. Safety for the players.
Such a bullshit.
If you're gonna claim safety, you should not be playing with these athletes.
You're going to destroy UT Martin. You're concerned for your team's safety, not theirs.
It's absolutely insane. It's a crock of shit too. Yeah. They just want more money, which I mean, I understand that, but just don't give us the bullshit. Spare us the bullshit.
That's the worst part of it all is they're using player safety, this thing that should be taken seriously as their little escape clause. It's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
And who cares? Whatever. You're lining up to play the game of football. Player safety, yes, is a concern, but if you sign the contract, then fuck off.
There's
but
risk
don't
in
use
life.
it as an excuse.
Yeah, there's risk in life if you do nothing. All right, so stop being stupid. Patty C, so you're taking the Skyhawks upset?
Yeah, we're going Skyhawks. 25-24, last second field goal. No, what's the score in this game?
Well, Kirby kind of calls off the dogs against the FCS guys. I feel like so. I'll say 56-0. Okay. I don't think they score.
Yeah, fine.
Week 2. Get Ball State 5-7. Ball State, who lost Carson Steele. Shout out to Carson Steele. He was on our show. He's now the starting running back at UCLA. Great guy. Owns a. Carson Steele and Georgia have a lot of things in common because Carson Steele owns an alligator, and Georgia owns the Florida Gators.
Hello,
how about that?
Got him.
Patty C, this game's stupid too.
Yeah, without Carson Steele, Carson Steele wouldn't have made a difference as much as I love him.
Yeah,
it would have been more fun to watch, but he might have gotten some butts in the seats there with that hair. But that's about it. 2-0.
Now your Gamecocks come in there. Frank Beamer's son, Shane Beamer, Spencer, vegetarian Rattler, getting after it.
Got to be a little careful here.
Do you?
Yeah, you do. South Carolina ended the season last year with wins against Tennessee, wins against Clemson,
and then a loss to a bad Notre Dame team.
Not a bad Notre Dame team. They only lost by
to Stanford.
Dude,
Stanford was awful
early in the season, and then Notre Dame turned it around late in the season.
I'm not calling them a good team last year.
Well, I think you would be
Georgia by 28.
Okay, Georgia does.
I'll lay 28. Now Trent Dilfer comes walking in. You think you're ready for Dilfer?
Let's not override that South Carolina game. There's only a couple games here we can talk about. I think they're playing better, and Rattler is a great quarterback. If they take another step under Beamer,
are you saying South Carolina's going to win this? Please.
No, I'm not saying. Look, I'll say it right now. Everyone already knows this. Georgia is going undefeated. We don't have to do this, right? But we're going to.
We don't have to do this show.
Right. We can end it right now, and everyone is going to be in agreement here. But let's talk about it a little bit. I think Spencer Rattler, unfortunately, but I'll say this: UT Martin and Ball State won't be necessarily good warm up. There's going to be stepping up a whole level.
But I think that's why I like it more. I think there's other scarier games in the SEC because they're in the gauntlet of week to week. When you just have those tune-ups
games.
I think it just means like, oh, they're focused on South Carolina. They'll be focused for a month on South Carolina.
Yeah, that's true.
So after that, they get Trent Dilfer. Trent Dilfer's already saying, "Come take his players. He dares you."
An idiot.
Okay.
Yeah, we will.
I don't think Georgia needs any of your players, Trent.
Right.
Although Alabama did take their safety, right? So hey, I guess there's that. Patty C, is this an upset for you?
No.
Okay, here we go. But this sucks for me as a college football fan. I love Georgia Auburn. I think it should happen every year, no matter what TV exec's in charge. I don't care if it's Evil Longoria running things.
Wait, is this one that they've determined will go by the wayside?
No, they haven't ruled any of this stuff yet. But
okay.
Patty C, but I think if you're a fan of the potential upset, not that I have any problem with Georgia winning, it's just I think you would like to see the top team lose. Auburn has Hugh Freeze, Hugh Strip Club Freeze, baby.
Yep.
He might coach from a strip club, a hospital bed, who knows, right? But
he's going to be coaching.
But man, you'd want to, if you're an Auburn fan, you're like, I wish they played this game in late October because the fact that it's in September, it's really hard on the first year coaches in September. I feel like if you get them in November, if you get them maybe even Halloween weekend, it's almost a different team.
I feel like they typically would play Auburn later in the season. You know, they're
Sankey dialed it up.
Yeah,
know?
I'm sure it's like, could be a threat later on.
But I believe this game's scarier than the South Carolina game still.
Yeah. I'm going to look that up at some point during this podcast and I'll get that stat for you. But you say this is the scariest game so far. I mean, the fact that it's on the plains, I think it's probably the scariest. I don't think Hugh Freeze necessarily needs an entire season to get that offense up to speed, but still 5 weeks
getting
in.
Peyton Thorne was huge, but yeah. Well, look, this game I find scarier than the South Carolina game because it's in a little bit of the gauntlet. They get Kentucky. This is the game I'm talking about. Kentucky in Athens. Now they're going to beat the piss out of Kentucky. I'm just saying, I think Kentucky's probably got a little bit better of a chance than South Carolina, despite South Carolina maybe being the better team.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, basically playing them the week after Auburn certainly helps, and being a little tougher. I mean, Kentucky has the same vibe as Missouri. So maybe if they're asleep for this game somehow.
But it was at Missouri last time. This is in Athens, but maybe.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's not a look ahead spot because they go at Vanderbilt. This is also a huge advantage. And once again, when they get rid of divisions, I think it will be not that Georgia won't still win the national championship potentially.
Here, I got this stat for you.
What's that?
Georgia and Auburn have played like 120 some odd times, never played in September. This is the first time they're ever playing in September. Sankey at work. Sankey at work. Okay. But yeah, what were you saying? Sorry.
No, I was going to say like, they play at Vanderbilt on October 14th and they'll have more fans there than Vanderbilt. So they only play 4 away games and at Vanderbilt's one of them where they will have a better fan turnout than Vanderbilt. I've seen this happen a bunch of times.
Yeah.
So that sucks. That's a win.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that's not that Georgia still couldn't win the national championship, but that's why I want to see get rid of these divisions. I'm sick of seeing this game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
it's one of their actually most played rivals of all time for some reason, but I guess border battle, you know.
Well, to me, if it's an away game and you can, be the dominant fan base at that stadium,
you don't need to
is
keep
it really
playing
worth it? Yeah.
It's actually their 4th most played rival, 60-20 all time. It's a little more in Vanderbilt's favor than what I thought. 25%
I'm sure they had like a decent 1930s. I don't know. Right. Then they got a bye week before the world's biggest cocktail party against Florida in Jacksonville. I've been to this game and this will be like a true 50-50. So once again, this is not a road game. This is like a 50-50. Yeah. This is a great schedule because they don't play anyone good on the road.
Yeah. Not only do they not play anyone good on the road.
They get one good team on the road. Yeah.
They played true road games out of state 3 times, right? And all 3 are in bordering states. And Jacksonville's on the northern part of Florida, and Auburn's, not on the western. It's like they probably don't have to drive more than 5 hours the entire season away from their stadium.
I'm just saying, like, I do think this. Let's get to it. So you got them beating Florida in the cocktail party. I think they dominate Florida. I already told you they own Florida.
Yeah.
Then they host the Missouri Tigers on November 4th.
They'll have their focus after last year. Smart will get them up for that.
Then they host Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss. If this was in Oxford, I would say maybe. Yeah. But no, not between the hedges.
And here we finally have it. The only
November
game of the year.
The only game that matters if you're a Georgia fan. I mean, I guess Georgia fans love the Florida game and the Tennessee game because they can talk shit. But I'm sorry, the Florida game and the Auburn game so they can talk shit. But Tennessee game, obviously the huge one. We saw them knock off Alabama. It was probably the best scene in college football. Greg Sankey can take his storming the field fines and shove them up his ass because that is college football. We like that. And we encourage that. So if Tennessee wins, I hope they bring the goalpost back to the river.
Was Alabama number 1 last year when they
I think maybe number 2.
Maybe number 2.
Georgia might have been number 1, I think. But it is the only, and just maybe this is the only one they could lose.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, I love Georgia to beat the piss out of them.
Yeah. What was the score in last year's game?
They called off the dogs.
27-13.
No, but even that was a little like it was 27-0.
Yeah, they let them creep back into it.
So
in complete control of the game.
So that game is the game. What are you doing? You taking them to win that?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. And then they're at Georgia Tech.
Dominance.
Yeah, and man,
who do you have them going against in the SEC championship?
LSU.
You think LSU gets better Alabama?
I think LSU is the best team in the SEC besides Georgia.
Do you think who has a better chance of beating Georgia? Do you think LSU would have a better chance of beating Georgia?
Yes.
They even match up better?
Yes.
Maybe. We'll see what Alabama does quarterback wise, but certainly there are big question marks there.
Patty C. I mean, this schedule is ridiculous. They play.
It's shameful. It's shameful.
The schedule is honestly like, dude, if like randomly, like, I don't know, name a Kansas State, name a random team. Give me a Kansas State schedule. Can you load that up?
Yeah. Let me
just name me a random team. Kansas State works. I feel like middle of the country.
Big
right?
12, Kansas State. Okay.
Can you tell me the away games? And I understand you could say, well, Georgia's so dominant. That we're looking at it from a glass half full
12
thing.
Away games at Missouri, at Oklahoma State.
See, hold on. At Missouri, where Georgia struggled last year.
Yeah.
But
although
Missouri
I wouldn't call that a hard game.
Yeah, they're like, okay, next one.
At Oklahoma State.
Okay.
It was a tough place to go. At Texas Tech.
Yeah, this was those are
two.
Those are 3 bowl teams right there.
At Texas,
right? 4 bowl teams,
and then at Kansas,
5 bowl teams.
Yeah,
you see the difference here, and I guess you could say, well, hey, Auburn made a bowl even though they were 6 and 7, but Vanderbilt did not. And Georgia Tech certainly did not. So they played 2 tough road games at Auburn and at Georgia. I just find that.
Well, they play at Tennessee too.
No, I'm sorry, at Auburn and at Tennessee. I mean,
yeah,
that's what I mean. It's like the other 2 are Vanderbilt and Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
So. Man, it's a genius schedule.
One of the most. I mean, say what you want, but and it's obvious. It's super freaking obvious to anyone who's watching that they're manipulating these schedules to give their best teams the best chance year in, year out. But it's disgraceful, and everyone knows it. Especially
I'm on the over
team that just won the national championship by 58 points. You don't need to be playing a peewee schedule the following year. But anyway,
I mean, they didn't cancel Oklahoma. That was the SEC. So. I can't blame Kirby Smart for that in the athletic department.
Blame Greg Sankey.
But Patty C, I mean, this is lock-worthy, right?
Pretty much.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I'm on the over. Patty C's on the over. But look, before we get out of here, I had a chance to sit down with Michael Barker, aka College Football Campus Tour, on Twitter at CFB Campus Tour. What's up?
Is Georgia winning the national championship next year?
Probably.
That's the real preview.
You need to know the matchups, but. Probably.
Yeah.
I think LSU's capable of beating them, but
outside of the SEC?
Isn't the SEC championship in Atlanta?
Yeah.
I mean, every advantage.
Helps. Yeah.
is there. You know what I mean?
They'll be in the Sugar Bowl since they'll have home field advantage. So that's kind of an SEC venue, although
the national championship's in Houston. It's right there.
Yeah.
It's not that far. You know what I mean? Like
most of the, I mean, what 4 out of the 6, BCS or New Year's 6 bowls are in SEC territory. So
if they played Michigan, I would take Georgia to beat Michigan.
Yeah. What about Ohio State?
Ohio State's lost a lot, so I need to see how good they are.
Yeah,
but that would be one that would be appealing. I know Marvin Harrison Jr. when he got knocked out of the game last year, I bet that was a big turning point for Georgia.
Yeah.
Alabama, I need to see their
USC,
quarterback.
need to see defense.
I just still don't think so, but
yeah,
I think Georgia's probably winning it. Maybe I think it sounds crazy, but I think LSU is the team that I would say
has the best chance of beating.
Yeah, just because I trust the quarterback position. And I think the fact that he's dual threat, can put some pressure on Georgia, even though Georgia's defense is incredible.
Is Georgia your first three-peat national champion since the 1930s, Minnesota, or did they get stopped?
They could do it. I mean, I got to see matchups. It's hard to tell.
Well, if they do go,
like if LSU beats them, and let's say LSU had the upset in the SEC championship, and they end up with the 4 seed and going somewhere else.
Yeah, if they have maybe to go to
maybe
Pasadena, I guess.
You got maybe even with that, but obviously great times if you're a Georgia fan. But
that could be it. If they have to go to Pasadena and they're playing USC, like if they drop to the 3 seed and USC is the 2 seed, then USC has a big advantage mileage wise there. I think right now I have to lean for them to repeat though.
Yeah,
again,
definitely.
That would be 32 straight wins, which would be good for what? 4th all time.
Well, that's why you got to get rid of these divisions, because honestly, if you told me they were playing, they still haven't played at Texas A&M. This is a hilarious stat. Texas enters the Big 12 next year. I'm sorry, the SEC next year, right?
Yeah.
They are playing at Texas before they're playing at Texas A&M.
And A&M's been in the league for
over
a decade longer.
Over a decade.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Folks, as I alluded to, I got college football campus tour here. I got a chance to sit down with him and talk about Samford Stadium and the trip to Athens, Georgia. So with no further ado, here's that. Joining us on the college football experience, Georgia Bulldogs 2023 season preview episode is a guy that not only I think, first off, college football fans, Georgia, your fans are always fantastic. So I'm imagining people listening to this, you guys have great pride and passion and everything that's great about college football. And, this guy, Michael Barker here, that is joining me on this, interview, he is likewise, because his Twitter page at CFB Campus Tour, absolutely amazing. This guy goes to like 6-7 games a week during the football season. He documents all of those games. And I know he's been to every single FBS school in the land. And he was also at the national championship where the Georgia Bulldogs dominated the TCU Horned Frogs. Michael, how you doing, man? And I appreciate you hopping on the show.
I'm doing great, and you're right. Georgia fans are great. I went to the last 2 national championships when they beat Alabama as well. And one of my favorite games that I've been to is 2019. I went to the opener at Vanderbilt, and they sold their seats to dog fans to pay for the rest of their season tickets. And Georgia was up something like 27-3 going into the 4th quarter. And everyone in the stadium was barking and just taking it over. So I've seen the Georgia Bulldog passion, and it's amazing that they've become such a juggernaut here in the college football landscape.
Yeah, I mean, I'm digging it too, man. I always loved their uniforms and everything they got going here. Now, Sanford Stadium, though, tell me about the history of Sanford Stadium.
I mean, this is another special place right here. It opened in 1929. It has been expanded 9 times between 1949 and 2018. Currently, its capacity is 92,000. It's the 9th largest stadium in NCAA, and it's the 17th largest stadium in the entire world. We know it for the hedges. The hedges were built originally with the stadium in 1929. They were taken out during the 1996 Summer Olympics as soccer was played at the stadium. And right after that, they were replaced. And the biggest attendance that they've ever had was in 2019, 93,246 when they knocked off number 7, Notre Dame.
Damn. I mean, look, I love this stadium. When I Google image the stadium, it looks fantastic. Between the hedges, obviously, Love that. And obviously the mascot. I remember like Auburn, Georgia, oldest rivalry in the Deep South. And I remember back in the 90s, I think it was like Frank Sanders or someone for Auburn catching a touchdown and the Bulldog biting them. Everything about this is college football, and I love it. Tell me, what games have you got to see here?
So this is a victim of COVID year. 2020, went to a game. It was a great game. They played Tennessee. It was 21-17 at half. Tennessee was winning, and Georgia outscored them 27-0 in the second half, and they ended up winning 44-21. Even with 20% capacity, they made a lot of noise. And, I've wanted to go back for a game when, maybe they accept a national championship or hang the banner. So this is one where, again, the COVID year, blessed to have the opportunity to go to some games, but you feel incomplete. Even as a traveler who's been to a game at every stadium, been to some of them multiple times for games, this is one on my list that I really want to get back to, not just because it's a great stadium, but hey, this is the number one team in the country. And you want to see them not just in the neutral site national championship games. You want to get the full effect in Sanford Stadium.
100%. I mean, look, I think you feel this if you're anywhere in Georgia, that the whole state loves the Georgia Bulldogs. But folks, if you're ever in the area, you got to get out to Sanford Stadium. It's like, I haven't even been, but I would just imagine it's an experience that you can't get in the NFL. You can't get in pro sports. So you got to check it out. I can't wait to go. I'm going to go. I know I had some plans to go actually the COVID year, but then COVID hit and I canceled those plans. So I hope to get out to Sanford Stadium, and maybe I'll see you, Michael.
Yeah, this is big on my hit list this year. So if I go, I will let you know.
Definitely, man. All right, everyone give Michael a follow on Twitter at CFB Campus Tour. Like I said, so many games. He's been to every FBS stadium. He's been to most of the FCS stadiums. He's been to D2, D3 schools, and he documents it all on his Twitter page. And not only does he document it, he'll do the photo of the game. If they rush the field, if there's an upset, he gets footage of it. It is a must follow for any college football fan. Folks, make sure you give him a follow at CFB Campus Tour. Thanks again, Michael, and take care, brother.
You too, Cole.
All right. That was Michael Barker. Man, Sanford Stadium, pretty high on your list? Between the hedges?
Oh, yeah. It's a great stadium.
Get that dog to bite you in the foot like they did with that Auburn?
Oh, yeah. That's right. That dude.
Said Frank Sanders. I don't know who the hell it was, but it was great. Folks, we got to get there. And look, if you are in the Georgia area, even if you're vacationing, get out there to a game. College football is the best, in my opinion, best version of football you can find on our planet. So get on over there and check it out. And yeah, I'm on the over. Patty C's on the over, and we'll be talking about it all year long, folks. Subscribe to the College Football Experience as we break down 133 college football teams with a solo podcast for each and every team in the land. So check us out. Once again, youtube.com/the college experience. Also subscribe to the College Football Experience wherever podcasts can be found, and the FCS College Football Experience, and the College Basketball Experience, and College Baseball Experience. Go, dogs, I know they play some college baseball. Let's go, folks. This is the College Football Experience. Georgia Bulldog style. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.